Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
It has been 2 months since the shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde took the lives of 19 children and 2 teachers. 17 others were injured, and a 10-year-old girl is still receiving care at University Hospital here in San Antonio.
Yeah, the tragedy is being felt all throughout Uvalde and across the state. The pain inspiring an art project, Healing Uvalde, 21 portrait murals. Artists from across Texas tell the Night Team's Lee Waldman they hope that heals families and helps families begin to heal.
She loved her shoes so much that she had to put, her mark on it. And so we're kind of trying to help her leave, a bigger mark than she has.
10-year-old Maite Rodriguez's green Converse have become iconic.
She drew a little hard on her Converse right after she got them.
Her mom, Ana Rodriguez, sharing it's the only way her daughter was identified after she was killed inside of her classroom. A truth that rocked the nation and touched artist Ana Hernandez.
My daughter is actually 10 years old, and her name, she has the same middle name as her. They're in the same grade.
Hernandez and assistant Gabby Magali are just some of more than 50 artists from across Texas working here in Uvalde.
Last night we came in a little late, around 9, because we had a project, and we didn't know the family was going to be here. So it was kind of cool to have the family see kind of the reveal of the design.
To embody the spirit of lives taken too soon.
That's her actual handwriting. That's the way she wrote her name. That's the way she wrote "You Console Me." And
each brushstroke keeping their memories alive.
I decided to use the photograph of Eva because I noticed that her daughter, she had posted that was her favorite picture of her mom. And she wanted, to have it there forever.
The Healing Uvalde 21 Portrait Murals project has been in the works for weeks.
Pretty soon after this whole tragedy happened.
Each artist carefully selected by organizer Abel Ortiz and project manager Monica Maldonado.
It was just very intentional, and us wanting to make sure there was a connection between the child and the artist.
Allowing the families and friends.
We came early yesterday, and there was one of the teacher's best friends was having coffee in front of the mural.
A place to feel close, to remember, and never let go.
What a beautiful child, and we need to remember that about her.
So a dedication ceremony is in the works for August. There will also be a map made so people can easily find where each of those murals is at. Back to you.
Through art. Thank you, Lee. Tomorrow, the Uvalde CISD School Board is scheduled to meet after canceling a special meeting planned for Saturday to discuss firing School District Police Chief Peter Arredondo. The school district released a statement saying, in part, the meeting to consider the termination of Chief Arredondo will be held at a later date, which is yet to be determined. So far, the potential firing of Arredondo isn't on the agenda for tomorrow, but people say they want their voices heard over inaction from the school board. We will have a crew at tomorrow's meeting, and we'll bring you the latest right here on air and online on KSAT.com.
Well, it has now been 30 days since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending the constitutional right for women to have abortions, bringing scenes of both despair and joy across the country.
But the battle over abortion rights continues. This morning, a group held a rally and marched downtown in support of what they call safe abortion access.
Tiffany Huertas has more on the group's message, plus reaction from a pro-life organization.
We gotta fight back! Racism means we gotta fight back!
San Antonio resident Daylene Garcia organized this rally and march in downtown Sunday morning alongside local organization Mujeres Marcharán. Although it's been weeks since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, Garcia says conversations surrounding this issue need to continue.
I think it's important for everybody to have safe and accessible abortion access.
About 30 people participated at today's event.
My goal today is to get everybody informed about the GRACE Act and different trigger laws.
The GRACE Act bans cities from using funds to investigate reports of abortion. It also directs the police to make abortion-related investigations their lowest priority. Trigger laws across the country were passed by legislatures to go into effect if or when the Supreme Court or the federal government changes a law. In Texas, the High Court's decision triggered a law banning nearly all abortions in the state within 30 days.
Still important to keep spreading the message and getting people educated.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
Meanwhile, other organizations continue celebrating the overturning of Roe v. Wade. A spokesperson for the Texas Alliance for Life, a pro-life organization, released this statement that says in part, quote, "We celebrate the long-anticipated overturning of Roe v. Wade and the greater number of lives now being saved in states across our nation and in the great state of Texas." They go on to say, "We will continue to work to protect innocent human life, get pro-life candidates elected to office, educate women about the vast resources available to them, and partner with pro-life organizations to advance a culture of life across Texas."
New on the Nightbeat, 2 people looking for a new home tonight after their apartment went up in flames. This happened on the 1500 block of Babcock Road around 8 tonight. That's on the city's northwest side. Fire investigators believe the fire started while one of the occupants was smoking on the balcony. No one was hurt, and the investigation is ongoing. Tonight, dozens of San Antonio families are not sleeping in their own beds. Their apartments were damaged by fire late last night. Many of those affected escaped with only clothes that they were wearing. The fire broke out around 11 last night at the Sierra Ridge Apartments on Data Point Drive. That's in the medical center area. San Antonio fire investigators say the fire started on the balcony of one apartment and quickly spread to the surrounding apartments. 6 units were destroyed and 12 others had smoke and water damage. Property management is helping families find other living options. No injuries were reported. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
And just one more fire to tell you about. This one also happening overnight at a vacant building over on the city's far northeast side. It broke out around 12:30 this morning in the 5500 block of Mountain Vista Drive. Crews had to find their way past a locked gate to get onto the property. We're told the fire spread pretty quickly throughout the building, causing extensive damage. That building determined to be a complete loss. No injuries were reported. It's now being investigated as a possible arson.
Turning to coronavirus news now, the number of positive cases in Bexar County has decreased slightly, but remains in the high category. Metro Health is reporting over 1,000 new cases as of Friday, but 0 new deaths to report. Meanwhile, 327 people across the county are hospitalized with COVID. 51 are in the ICU. 17 are on ventilators. These numbers will be updated tomorrow at 4:30 p.m.
And Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick will be working from home this week. This after announcing he tested positive for COVID-19 today. According to Patrick's office, he is experiencing mild symptoms. He's also isolating at home and will follow all the protocols. Patrick is fully vaccinated and got his booster shot last fall. This isn't his first bout with COVID. Patrick previously tested positive about 8 months ago. His office says he will work from home the rest of the week.
President Joe Biden's condition is improving following last week's COVID-19 diagnosis. Today, Biden's physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, said the president's main symptom right now is a sore throat. He called the development encouraging, saying it's an indication that Biden's body is clearing the virus. The president is being treated with Paxlovid, and he will remain in isolation until he tests negative for COVID-19. Well, tonight, U.S. officials are weighing whether or not to declare monkeypox a public health emergency. That's one day after the World Health Organization sounded that alarm.
Yeah, infections worldwide are rising. More than 16,000 now confirmed in at least 75 different countries, more than 2,900 of them right here in the U.S.
Here in Bexar County, there are 7 cases reported. ABC's Elwin Lopez reporting tonight from the CDC.
Tonight, the Biden administration says the U.S. is considering whether to declare monkeypox a public health emergency.
Right now, we have over 2,000 cases, but we have ramped up vaccinations, ramped up treatments, ramped up testing, and we're going to continue to look at all sort of policy options.
Such a declaration would allow the Health and Human Services Secretary greater freedom to allocate emergency resources. The World Health Organization already sounding the highest level of alert over the outbreak, now impacting at least 75 countries with more than 16,000 reported cases. The U.S. with 17% of those cases, 900 cases in New York State alone.
I noticed that there are 2 lesions. The sores are very painful.
The current outbreak primarily seen in men who identify as gay or bisexual, but anyone is at risk of exposure through close contact. The CDC warning that transmission can also occur through contaminated clothing and bedding. This as demands for vaccines in the U.S. soar, prompting officials to order 5 million more doses to add to the hundreds of thousands already going into the arms of anyone who wants one.
Now, the disease is rarely fatal. One can typically recover without treatment. The symptoms, though, could take about a week or even 2 to show up, and they can include rashes and a fever. Elwin Lopez, ABC News, Atlanta.
It's a windy and a warm one out there right now as we take a live look with live cam over downtown San Antonio. You can actually see that camera shaking there from the winds, gusting up to about 30 miles per hour. Today was another hot one for us. Temperatures were able to once again get to above 100 degrees. The high was 101 and the low this morning, a balmy 79. Tomorrow morning we'll be starting off near 80 degrees as well. Elsewhere we got up to 102 in Del Rio, 107 Getula, 102 in Pleasanton, 103 in New Braunfels. It stayed shy of 100 up in Kerrville where it was 98 degrees. Now quick check of the aquifer here. It's actually up 0.3 of a foot over the past 24 hours. And when you look at the pollen count, not too bad. Molds are low, and in fact we don't really have any Saharan dust in the air as well. Now coming up in the forecast, we're going to talk about how this dry and hot summer compares to another legendary dry and hot summer back in 2011. Are we hotter? Are we drier this year? I'll tell you. And of course, I'll take a look at your work week forecast coming up.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, a group of young volunteers is using the power of music to help clean up parts of war-torn Ukraine. How techno dance parties are sparking change. Plus, multiple high-temperature records broken today. Those temps, the fuel for dozens of wildfires burning across America tonight, including one right here in Texas.
But first, the Pope making a visit to Canada today with a special apology. It's next. Well, the Pope is in Canada tonight, where he is trying to right a wrong. The Pope apologizing for the church's role in what was done to Indigenous families in the 19th and 20th centuries there.
Yeah, more than 150,000 children were taken from their families and forced to attend religious schools where many suffered abuse. ABC's Marcus Moore is in Edmonton with more.
Tonight, Pope Francis arriving in Western Canada as he fulfills a long-standing desire that the pontiff apologize on Canadian soil for the church's role in a system to cut Indigenous children from their heritage over the course of more than 100 years. It was part of the Canadian government's goal at the time to better assimilate Indigenous children into Canadian society. In 2015, Canada's National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation released a report finding children were punished for speaking their own languages, abused physically and sexually, calling it cultural genocide.
A survivor said, the only thing I learned in the residential school was how to hate myself.
Tony Alexis is chief of the Alexis Nakota Sioux Nation. He's among those who called for Pope Francis to come and apologize in person. The Pope issued an apology from the Vatican earlier this year, but many still called for him to go further and to do so on Canadian soil.
It's a validation of what has happened with the church and how they've hurt and abused our people.
The Pope's visit comes only a year after the discovery of hundreds of unmarked burials on the grounds of former residential schools, most believed to be the graves of children.
It wasn't until the non-Indigenous community started to speak about it that it became public, and that there was an urgency for this apology to happen here.
The Pope has been suffering from knee pain. In fact, he canceled some of his other foreign travel, but not this trip, signaling the importance of this apology after decades of hurt. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Edmonton, Canada.
Back here at home, still 88 degrees outside at 10:16.
Yeah, you said it was windy, but it feels like you were saying earlier, just like a blow dryer at this point.
Yeah,
still.
That's true. And that wind is from the southeast, so it's bringing back the humidity too in a big way in the overnight hours. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking me, how does this summer compare to the summer of 2011? The most recent summer in memory where we had some exceptional drought across the entire state of Texas. Well, here's a look at the drought right now as it stands across the state of Texas. Plenty of the state, 95% in fact, in drought. But when we look at 2011, you can see that the drought conditions were much worse across the state of Texas. More widespread, exceptional drought here as the worst category of drought. And we can also compare locally around the KSAT 12 viewing area. This is a look at the drought conditions right now. We've got exceptional drought from Eagle Pass and Del Rio all the way through San Antonio and out toward Gonzales. But in 2011, the entire KSAT 12 viewing area was either in extreme or exceptional drought. So the drought was more extensive back in 2011. It doesn't mean we're not hurting now. We're still experiencing extreme and exceptional drought. Now, when you compare the heat, that's another story. So far this year, we've had 45 100-degree days, including today. At this time in 2011, we only had 18 100-degree days. Now, throughout the rest of that summer and even into September, we ended up having a total of 57 100-degree days. So we're already close to the total number of 100-degree days back in 2011, and we've still got August to get through and even parts of September. So basically, 2011 was drier, but this year is hotter. And this year is still pretty dry. And over the coming days, we're going to add on to that triple-digit tally. Temperatures are going to be at or above 100 every single day here through next weekend as well. We'll be at 102 tomorrow. The culprit, you know by now, that big heat high, which is right overhead. The jet stream is to our north, bringing showers and storms across parts of the Appalachian Mountains in the northeast. Meanwhile, we're under the influence of that heat high. Today, much of the nation was hot, just like yesterday. It got up to 102 in Oklahoma City, up to 94 Washington, D.C., 95 in New York. That's much warmer than average for them. As for other areas, generally at or above 90 degrees today for the high temperature. Speaking of 90, it's close to 90 right now. It's 89 and it feels like 92. We've got winds from the south-southeast sustained at 21 miles per hour, but a wind gust of up to 30 miles per hour right now in San Antonio, even up to 35 miles per hour in Hondo. A closer metro view, wind gusts of up to 25 miles per hour near Pleasanton as well, bringing in that Gulf of Mexico moisture. And so we're going to start tomorrow humid and warm, near 80 degrees with some clouds. Then 91 at noon, 102 for the high temperature, a few gusts up to 20 miles per hour possible. It's pretty much going to be a ditto day tomorrow. What you see today, ditto. You're going to get it tomorrow. And for the forecast highs locally around the KSAT 12 viewing area, 106 in Laredo, 102 in Del Rio, 102 in Hondo, 97 in Kerrville. Closer view here, 102 Port SA. Seguin, you'll be at 101 tomorrow. It'll be 101 in the Nixon Smiley area, and it's going to stay pretty humid during the day. Dew points will come down a little bit, but that heat index is going to be up to 104 over the coming days. Some good news. We won't see Saharan dust in the air for at least the next 5 days or so. So at least the skies won't be hazy and you won't have to be dealing with that. Other than that, the news is not so good. Again, only a 10% chance for a stray shower or storm Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That is not going to cut it when it comes to drought conditions. In the next half hour here, I'm going to talk about one of our hopes for the next coming months, which could lie in the tropics. So we'll talk about that coming up in just a bit.
Quick question, when does the Saharan dust go away?
Saharan dust goes away typically after the summer.
Okay.
So we'll have more plumes of Saharan dust over the next couple of months, probably.
Good to know.
Why don't you make that big blue H go away while you're at it?
I'll try.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll have a preview of Instant Replay with Greg right after this. San Antonio has a new professional football team, this time in the XFL. With more on that and what's on Instant Replay tonight, let's check in with our Greg Simmons.
And we get to find out the mascots next month. And Dallas Cowboys, here we come. Their 2022 camping in California kicks off tomorrow. We'll get you ready. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay.
We got a lot of great football ahead, guys. And the thing about it is, there's also just something special about Texas football.
Yes, there is. San Antonio's newest professional football team announced today in Arlington by The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who's taken over the XFL from former WWE chairman Vince McMahon. We will know the mascot of our new team and who will be the head coach. Find out coming up. Oh, and we can't wait to bring you the sights and sounds of Southern California. The Dallas Cowboys players and staff are due to report tomorrow afternoon in California for their 2022 training camp, and KSAT 12 Sports will be there. Who are the players to watch before even the preseason kicks off? We will show you.
I ain't used to this. Ready to go. Start of year 2.
And just as the players report for training camp in Houston, the Texans have a tough announcement to make. One of their top draft picks will not be able to suit up this season after it's discovered he has a form of leukemia. All that plus San Antonio FC continues to win, this time on the road. Why is former Spur DeJounte Murray attacking his former team on social media? And will the XFL be a success in San Antonio? Tonight, you decide. Instant Replay is live, and it's after the Nightbeat.
And will Greg Simmons get any sleep before he hops on the plane to California?
That would be a no thank you, unfortunately. Yes.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks for staying up with us. We'll see you again in a little bit. Concert goers in North Dakota left in disappointment after Kid Rock cancels a show last last minute what fueled that decision.
And monarch butterflies are now on the endangered species list. Why this is such a dangerous thing for humans.
But first, wildfires and dangerous heat, a tragic combination plaguing the nation right now. The latest update on a wildfire burning right here in Texas when we return.
We want to alert you now about a traffic situation that we're having at I-10 at Vance Jackson. These are the eastbound lanes. What it looks like is there is at least a two-car accident. We see a tow truck that just arrived at the scene. There are at least 10 responding units on the scene that we can see in this TransGuide shot. Traffic is down to one lane. You can see it's inching along, and this has been happening for a while. Sarah just informed us that this looks like it's all the way backed up to 410. So if you can avoid the area, you should probably do that, and we will get you information on what happened here in this accident as soon as we get it.
Meanwhile, the extreme heat is fueling wildfires like this one around the country, including one right here in Texas. Firefighters in Somervell County are battling the Chalk Mountain fire. So far, over 6,700 acres have been scorched. As of today, the fire is only 20% contained. Governor Greg Abbott signed a disaster declaration for that area. 2 minor injuries are being reported, and at least 60 homes so far have been evacuated.
And that extreme heat is bearing down on most of the country, including California, where wildfires are also raging.
Cole Higgins has the latest.
More than 90 million people across the U.S. are under excessive heat warnings and advisories.
It's too hot. It's too hot right now. Oh, I'm warm as hell.
High humidity mixed with sweltering temperatures pushing many heat indexes into the triple digits. The National Weather Service warning it may feel extremely oppressive.
Most common mistake people make is trying to tough it out, trying to think that it's just going to cool off, just trying to think, hey, you know, this is just a little bit of sweatiness, a little bit of nausea. This is no big deal. You can get to a point where you start to become confused and lethargic and tired. And at that point, it might be too late for you to even have the wherewithal to call for help.
Forecasters say a number of cities in the Northeast will likely see daily record high temperatures.
Boston's record 98. It goes back to 1933.
The city of Boston reaching 100 degrees on Sunday, breaking a daily heat record set 89 years ago, according to the National Weather Service. This massive heat wave also fueling a raging wildfire in California's Mariposa County outside Yosemite National Park. The Oak Fire has burned more than 14,000 acres so far, according to CAL FIRE. Governor Gavin Newsom declaring a state of emergency for the county after more than 3,000 people were forced to evacuate their homes.
It was scary when we left because we were getting ashes on us, but we had such a visual of this billowing that it just seemed like it was above our house and coming our way really quickly.
I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
Well, we're taking a look outside with live cam right now. It's still 87 degrees outside. Windy, too, with gusts up to 30 miles per hour. You know, today was our 45th 100-degree day outside. It is just incredibly hot. We're in the middle of a long stretch. But I want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in the forecast. Take a look at your screen right now. The good is that, hey, we're not going to have to deal with records. We'll be just shy of records. The bad, though, is that, of course, that 100-degree weather will continue. And the ugly, we need rain. But no healthy rains over the next 7 days. Still, our eyes are on the tropics. They usually ramp up this time of year. I'll have details for you on that and what potentially our August could look like locally around South Central Texas and San Antonio. That forecast coming up soon. Courtney.
Thank you, Sarah. Well, the beloved migrating monarch butterfly has been placed on the endangered species list. That's just 2 steps away from being extinct.
Researchers believe their declining numbers are good indicators of how healthy our ecosystems are. And a healthy, intact ecosystem can prevent things like the spread of mass disease or a decline in nature.
Our Sarah Acosta spoke with an expert about what's causing that decline in monarchs, preservation measures, and the small glimmer of hope that may keep them from going extinct.
Monarchs are known for pollinating flowers across North America through their seasonal migration. I personally loved watching the monarchs that emerged in my own garden in the fall.
This is my second monarch to emerge. I'm really excited because he's been hanging out on my fingers for the last hour or so.
But the monarch population has declined by 90% in the past 2 decades, according to federal scientists. One of the main reasons is climate change causing extreme heat, drought, and other weather events.
We can get these extreme years, but on average, we're getting more extreme years.
Dr. Karen Oberhauser, professor of entomology at the University of Wisconsin, has been studying monarchs for 30 years. She is concerned about the extreme heat and drought the South is having this year because it will impact monarch food source.
The nectar plants won't be producing as much nectar, so the flowers are dried up. In some cases, they're not even around anymore.
Another reason for the decline, she says, is mass use of pesticides, which has resulted in habitat loss for monarchs. For example, she says a lot of the milkweed, the prime food source for monarchs, used to grow in corn and soybean fields.
Now farmers can control all weeds in their fields with herbicides because the plants are genetically modified to resist herbicides.
But there is good news. Scientists have used this data to raise a massive amount of awareness. 23 states, including Texas, have committed to preserving monarch habitat, especially in the past 10 years. Oberhauser says because of this awareness to protect monarch habitat, the numbers aren't on the trend of severe decline like they were 20 years ago.
There are a lot of people that are making efforts to increase the amount of habitat that's available to make up for all that habitat that we lost in agricultural fields. But we're kind of holding our own because we're adding habitat at the same time we're subtracting habitat. So I think that monarch numbers probably would still be declining if people weren't doing as much as they're doing now.
Oberhauser says it's important to protect our monarchs, not because our ecosystems will collapse without them, but because they are a flagship indicator of how intact our ecosystems are. Remember, healthy ecosystems keep humans healthy, safe from disease spread and nature decline.
If things are going badly for monarchs, they're going badly for a lot of other things. So they're an indicator of how things are going.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
If any monarchs are watching, I've got a nice habitat in my backyard. Come visit. I'm ready. Still ahead, how a group of Ukrainian volunteers are using techno music to remember what their lives were like before Russia invaded.
And later, chaos ensues at a Kid Rock concert, the reason behind the outburst. Well, we want to help answer any questions you might have about vaccines. That's why our KSAT community partners are hosting a vaccine phone bank next week. It's on Wednesday from 5 to 7. Medical professionals from University Health will be answering all your questions. We'll have the phone number to call on Wednesday.
And right now on our website, we want to hear from you. What questions do you have about sending your kids back to school? It's almost that time. And it can be anything from school safety to staffing to COVID, anything school related, really. Just let us know over at KSAT.com. And you can find this story right now on our homepage.
And the desperate need for blood continues. The South Texas Blood and Tissue Center reports a great need for type O blood. Right now, they have less than 1 day's worth available. Because of that low blood supply, some surgeries have already had to be postponed. You can help by donating at a community blood drive. There's one tomorrow at Santikos West Lakes on 410. It starts at 10 a.m. and goes until 3 in the afternoon.
And looking ahead, a brand new episode of KSAT Explains airs tomorrow. You won't want to miss this one. Meteorologists Justin Horn and Sarah Spivey dive deep into a beautiful cave hidden in Comal County. They show us the natural beauty of that area, but also what efforts are being made to protect it. After all, it is a vital piece of our water source here in San Antonio. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for the news at 6:30 for KSAT Explains, the Honey Creek Cave.
To the Bahamas now, where an investigation is underway off the coast of New Providence Island tonight after a boat capsized with around 60 people on board. Investigators believe the passengers were migrants with a final destination of Miami. 17 bodies have been recovered from the waters, but more are still missing. 25 people were rescued and brought to safety. At least 2 people are in custody while investigators work to determine what happened.
Taking you to Ukraine now, Russia insisting that its strike on the key Black Sea port of Odessa hit only military targets, including a warship. President Zelensky saying that attack destroyed the very possibility of dialogue with the Kremlin, threatening the deal to end the Russian blockade. ABC's Patrick Ravel has more details from Ukraine.
Tonight, uncertainty still in Ukraine over when millions of tons of blockaded grain might begin to move. It's harvest time here in southern Ukraine. This farm near Odessa unable to ship their crops for months.
This pile of grain is actually last year's harvest. There's about 250 tons of it. and normally it would already have been exported overseas. But because of Russia's blockade, it's just sitting here.
The standstill driving up food prices and exacerbating a growing global hunger crisis. A UN-brokered deal has opened a path to allow grain ships to start leaving again from Ukrainian ports. But less than 24 hours after signing, Russia struck Odessa's port with missiles. Ukrainian officials, though, say for now the deal continues. Farmer Vyacheslav Nevmezhitsky still skeptical the agreement will hold. Russia will only truly negotiate, he says, if Ukraine gives it a punch in the teeth. Ukraine is now trying to take the fight to Russia. In the south, signs growing of a possible Ukrainian counteroffensive aimed at retaking the occupied Kherson region. Ukraine this week striking the only 3 bridges Russia has to supply its forces in the region's capital. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky saying Saturday Ukrainian troops are pushing into the region step by step. That assessment echoed by Britain's Ministry of Defence, which claimed Russia's supply lines are increasingly at risk.
That was ABC's Patrick Ravel reporting. Meanwhile, some good news from Ukraine. More than 200 people took part in a techno music party in a bombed-out building in northern Ukraine today.
Finding the silver lining, the revelers were both enjoying the music while cleaning and helping rebuild an area devastated by the Russian occupation only months previously. Ukraine's vibrant club scene was brought to an abrupt halt with the Russian invasion. A nighttime curfew is now in effect in the capital of Kyiv, forcing partygoers to find a way to combine the fun and freedom of a festival with rebuilding the country they love.
Techno parties, especially rave festivals, it was our lifestyle before, and when we meet with friends and spend time, like last summer it was every weekend festivals here, so in Ukraine, I mean in Kiev, so we miss it and we want to come back to normal life, but our normal life is now is volunteering.
Most of the volunteers, primarily in their 20s and 30s, came from Kyiv, about 2 hours drive away. But others are from all over the world, including some Americans. The cleanup was the group's 8th event so far, and they have already helped repair 15 damaged homes in that village.
Good for them. You want to try those dance moves?
Nope.
I think you could pull it off.
No.
We'll be right back.
I like when the weather nerds get excited.
Yes, Sarah's very excited about some space-related news right now.
Yes, because just about 15 to 20 minutes ago, I've been getting a lot of notifications from family members, etc. It looks like we had some space debris move over San Antonio. This was caught on somebody's Nest cam. It was low and bright enough to really light up a lot of the sky. It makes me, I really do think that this is space debris, because watch how it fizzles out there, kind of like a sparkler does. Now, as the lower Earth orbit has become more populated with satellites, space debris has become more and more common to see. And again, it's very, very bright and usually looks fluorescent from all of the metals that come along the satellite. So that's my educated guess, that it's space debris instead of a meteorite. Really cool to see that. And again, it burns up completely before it makes any kind of contact with the ground, so no worries there. It just is kind of a big wow factor. So if you saw that, wondering what that was, it probably was space debris. Something that's not as exciting is that in the month of August, the Climate Prediction Center is predicting that we're going to have a warmer than average August around San Antonio and really around Texas. So unfortunately, we're going to continue to see the above average heat. Average for August is about 97. And even more not so great news is that they're forecasting below average precipitation as well. One of the last things we want to hear. Now, this time of year, most of the rain that we get, if we get rain at all, is from tropical systems. And the tropics are fairly quiet. In fact, we do not expect development over the next 5 days out in the Atlantic, but there is something to think about. Tropical activity really does start to ramp up this time of year. Right now, we're right about here, and you can see that tropical systems become more and more common, and they peak around the middle of September. So we'll probably start to see the Atlantic getting a little spicy over the coming days and weeks. But the thing is, we don't wish for a hurricane. We just want the rain from a weaker tropical system, if at all possible, because unfortunately, there's only a 10% chance of a stray shower or storm Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this upcoming week, and that's just not going to cut it. We got up to 101 today for the high temperature, 3 degrees shy of the record set back in 1934. Outside right now, it is windy, gusts of up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. That's pulling in that Gulf of Mexico moisture, and we're going to start the day warm and humid tomorrow. As you're heading to work, temperatures should be in the low 80s. It'll be muggy with some clouds out there. Then by about noon, 91 around the lunch hour. And as we head into the afternoon, 102 for the high temperature. A bit of a breeze, southeast winds at about 15 miles per hour. Neighborhood look at highs, it'll be 100 in Canyon Lake, 106 in Cotulla, 106 in Carrizo Springs, 102 in Del Rio, 102 in Uvalde. And up in the hill country, you know, temperatures are going to be a little bit less than 100, but still hot. Closer to San Antonio, 102 in Castroville, 102 in Hondo, 101 in Converse, 101 in Seguin, 101 in Nixon, 102 in Uvalde, and 98 in Comfort. Unfortunately, stuck in a rut. You know, we're stuck in a rut when we get excited about space debris.
You guys should have seen Sarah.
It's cool.
It was amazing.
And I call them weather nerds. It's a term of endearment. We're the news nerds, they're the weather nerds. It's all good. We like when they get excited and have something cool to show us, and they did. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you for being here tonight. We'll be right back. All right, take a look at this. Caught on camera in North Dakota, a violent reaction to the cancellation of Kid Rock's concert there. It's all happening on Friday night. An angry fan rushing up on stage, but quickly tackled by security. Looks like lots of water bottles being thrown up there, too. Others seen throwing the cups and those other items on stage. The show was canceled, though, due to high winds that they said made the set dangerous. Kid Rock tweeted, quote, "I know it sucks, but none of us can control Mother Nature," unquote. Organizers say fans will get a full refund.
Seems a bit unnecessary.
Yeah, you know. San Antonio FC stays #1 with a big shutout on the road.
And San Antonio's own world champ Jesse Bam Rodriguez prepares for his biggest night in the ring next month as the co-main event for the Canelo Alvarez Triple G trilogy. With more on what's on Instant Replay, let's head over to Greg Simmons.
I think that tackle at the Kid Rock concert should be our play of the week, don't you?
I think so.
We haven't found anything better tonight.
Great form.
And now one Lavernia teenager turned being bullied into one of the brightest young stars in the MMA. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. San Antonio's own Jesse Bam Rodriguez is a WBC super flyweight champion, and next month he gets to defend his title against Israel Gonzalez as a co-main event on the Canelo Triple G card in Las Vegas. So what award did he pick up as he trains for the fight, and how a Lavernia teenager turned being bullied into one of the rising stars of the MMA, and how winning the national championship has catapulted him to the possibility of a world title? Our Larry Rivera's with that story tonight.
That's lifted across. Flag stays down, rolled up and in for the goal.
San Antonio FC is still on top of the entire United Soccer League after a huge shutout victory on the road in El Paso. And don't look now, our San Antonio Missions are planning a Star Wars night next month. All that plus will get you ready for camping with the Cowboys and KSAT starting tomorrow live from California. And what's up with DeJounte Murray now blasting the Spurs as sports guys tackle this and more? Instant Replay is live, and it is next.
We didn't mean to encroach on your territory there with the tackle at the Kid Rock concert.
We'll let it go this one time.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Craig.
We'll be right back.
All right, finally tonight, caught on camera, a boat in the wrong place at the right time. A whale landed on that boat while it was floating off the coast of Plymouth, Massachusetts today. Whales are regularly spotted in that area.
Well, luckily, there were no injuries reported, and the damage to the boat was fairly minor. The Massachusetts Environmental Police will handle an investigation into the incident, according to the town of Plymouth. I don't know if that's at the right time. Like,
do you know what the whale was heard saying? You're going to need a bigger boat. That's all our time for now. For all of us here at KSAT 12, thanks for sticking around for the Jaws joke. Be sure to tune in to Good Morning San Antonio for all your latest overnight news.
Tim Grover, everybody. And All New Instant Replay starts right now.
Tip your waitresses.
Let's get our Texas coaches out here. We got 3 teams in the great state of Texas in the XFL. Put your hands together for Hines Ward, XFL San Antonio. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champ.
What's up, Texas?
All right, let him hear it. Wade Phillips, XFL Houston, 40 years coaching career at college and the pro level. He's a Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator for Denver. Wade Phillips.
I thought you loved me in Dallas.
Former Cowboys coach Wade Phillips getting some booze tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Instant Replay. It's hard to believe that starting tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we begin our live coverage of the 2022 Dallas Cowboys training camp in Oxnard, California. That includes daily reports from our West Coast headquarters for the next 2 weeks. A lot of questions still left before the start of the regular season. We'll cover some of those tonight before taking off tomorrow. But first,
pro football coverage powered by Davis Law Firm.
San Antonio's landed another professional football team, this time in the newly formed XFL. That announcement made tonight in Arlington by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who purchased the league from WWE former chairman Vince McMahon. And Johnson wanted to add markets like San Antonio to the mix. The head coach will be the former Steelers wide receiver Hines Ward. And tonight, the mayor reacted to the new professional football team, the first since the San Antonio Commanders went 5-3 in 2019 before the Alliance of American Football went bankrupt.
And I can tell you in the time leading up to the announcement, there's a lot of excitement, not only from San Antonio in terms of having professional football back in our city, but also from the league. The league recognizes, as I think the whole sports kingdom does, that San Antonio is primed and ready to step up and increase its profile of professional athletics. And this is another example, and a small step again, a significant step, but one step indeed towards us having a larger share of the professional sports world.
Thank you, Mayor. Here's a look at the teams that will be added, and also including San Antonio, Houston, Arlington, St. Louis, Seattle, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and Orlando. Now, San Antonio's Alamo Dome was constructed in 1993 after the then Oakland Raiders owner Al Davis said an NFL facility would have to be built before any NFL team would consider moving or the league expanding to the Alamo City. Mike Riley was the last head coach of a professional football team in San Antonio, with former Cowboys great Daryl Johnston, the team general manager. Now it will be up to the former Steelers star to guide San Antonio, and Coach Ward already has a message to other XFL teams in Texas. Bob Stoops, who's coaching the Arlington team, and former Cowboys head coach Wade Phillips, who's coaching the Houston team.
And I know how competitive Texas is, so I'm going to put it out there right now. Go San Antonio. We will bring home the Texas state title. I want to beat you. Yes, I want all you guys to boo. When we come here to Arlington, we go to Houston, I want to hear all the boos, because I guarantee you in the Alamo Dome, we're going to boo the crap out yourself too.
Go ahead, Coach.
How great is it going to be Houston playing Dallas, Houston playing San Antonio playing Dallas? Huh? What's better than that in Texas? Doesn't get any better than that in Texas.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
In less than 5 hours, we'll be on our plane that will take us to Los Angeles, and then an hour drive up the Pacific Coast Highway to Oxnard, California. We'll be beginning our live coverage of the Dallas Cowboys training camp tomorrow at 5 o'clock. A lot of questions remain to be answered to open training camp tomorrow. Can both Dak Prescott and star running back Ezekiel Elliott stay healthy this season after Prescott's brutal ankle injury in 2020 and Elliott's right knee injury in the last 3 months of last season? Video of Zeke working out tells us he's ready to go, and no restrictions on Dak means Prescott is at full speed. Who will step up at wide receiver with Michael Gallup down until later in September following ACL surgery and the departure of both Amari Cooper and Cedric Wilson? Will top draft pick Tyler Smith start at left guard with both Connor Williams and Lael Collins signing with Miami and Cincinnati respectively? And will Mike McCarthy be the head coach of the Cowboys at the end of the season with both defensive coordinator Dan Quinn and perhaps Sean Payton waiting in the wings? So here's a look at key dates tomorrow. Of course, players reporting Tuesday, State of the Cowboys address. Wednesday, the first practice. Saturday, opening ceremonies in Oxnard, and Sunday, Jerry Jones live on Instant Replay. The Texans rookies and quarterbacks reported this morning to their training facility in Houston, where they're in full rebuild mode with a new head coach and a boatload of draft picks who have a very good chance of starting in their first year of the NFL, and a quarterback that is only starting his second season. Lovie Smith promoted from defensive coordinator to head coach to take over for David Culley, who was fired after just one 4-win season. Davis Mills will try and maintain his growth at the end of the season. They kept the Texans from drafting any new quarterbacks, and both first-round draft picks, LSU defensive back Derek Stingley Jr. junior and offensive lineman Kenyon Green out of A&M are prepared to start in their first year in pro football. Green trying to keep Mills upright, who was sacked 31 times in 13 games played with 11 starts. But the Texans made a shocking announcement this afternoon. Second-round draft pick, wide receiver John Mechie III out of Alabama will miss the entire season after he was diagnosed with APL, a form of leukemia. He said in a statement that he is receiving great medical care and good spirits. My main focus will be on my health and recovery and cannot wait to come back stronger than ever. Camp notes now for the Houston Texans that would take place at the Methodist Training Center. Today, the rookies report. Tuesday, the veterans report. Friday, first practice at 8 a.m. Saturday, practice at 8 a.m. Sunday, players' day off. The first 2 practices are open to the public. Only 8 Texan practices will be open to fans during training camp. Now, take a look at this. This is L.A. Chargers rookie safety J.T. Woods showing up to his first NFL training camp this past Tuesday. Woods was selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft out of Baylor, the Steel alum. Not only the area rookie going to camp this summer, so is former Judson Star defensive end DeMarvin Leal. Will be attending the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp when the rookies report on Tuesday. Former UTSA Roadrunner offensive lineman Spencer Burford will be at the San Francisco 49ers camp on Tuesday as well. And of course, cornerback Tariq Woolen from UTSA will be at the Seattle Seahawks camp as rookies and veterans report in 2 days. San Antonio SC is coming up a 1-0 win over El Paso Locomotive FC last night in El Paso, and by doing so secured the club's first ever Copas Tejas championship. The only goal of the night came in the 48th minute with Justin Dillon assisted on the goal delivered by Santiago Patino in his 4th in the last 3 matches, giving him 5 in the season. It's also the 3rd straight shutout for SAFC, with goalkeeper Jordan Farr only having to make 1 save in his 8th clean sheet of the season. That means SAFC has held their opponents scoreless 10 times this season, including 3 out of the last 4 matches.
That's a championship performance tonight. You know, we knew there was a trophy on the line. It's not easy to come here. Obviously, they had a pretty long unbeaten streak at home. And for us to come out and play the way we did with so much grit, so much energy, so much fight, and to come away with 3 points, I think it shows that this group is something special. We talk about the mentality all the time, and it showed once again tonight.
It's a group of winners, and everything we can win, we want to win it. Every game, we want to win it. And that's the first trophy of the season for us, so we're happy we achieved that.
This is a special trophy because it's created by the fans. This is why we play the game. We play the game for our fans, and you know it's exciting to earn the 3 points, and also exciting that we get to bring a cup home with us.
The Colorado Switchbacks FC lost this past Monday to the San Diego Loyal SC. Then on Friday, they played to a draw with Charleston Battery. As a result, San Diego now sits in 2nd place with 40 points, and Colorado right behind them in 3rd. SAFC, who now has 46 points to lead the entire United Soccer League. Their schedule looks like this. Back on the pitch quickly, they'll be at Las Vegas Lights FC Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. and then hosting the LA Galaxy 2 Saturday 8 p.m. at Toyota Field. Time now for tonight's Instant Replay poll question. Will the XFL be successful in San Antonio? A, yes, with proper backing. No, just another fledgling league that will fail. Vote now. We'll have the results at the end of the broadcast tonight. We are just kicking off this edition of Instant Replay. Up next, San Antonio's Pato Award is in the winner's circle, but first.
Almost like a rattlesnake doesn't have to bite you, he just has to rattle his tail. That's it. That's Mother Nature's warning signs to stay away from that.
When we return, Larry Ramirez has more on the young champ from Lavernia who is turning heads in the MMA world. Meanwhile, San Antonio's own Jesse Bam Rodriguez is getting some mid-year praise in boxing. The Missions just held ugly Christmas sweater night. Now it's time to honor Baby Yoda and the Mandalorian at the Wolf. Plus, we'll have today's highlights from the Astros and the Rangers and what is going on with these tweets from former Spur DeJounte Murray about his former team. The sports guys decide when Instant Replay continues live next.